before and after? Like, how do you convince them to like really get on board?
Yeah. And I always say this, if I'm ever on a podcast, grounding isn't the one all be all. It's not going to cure everything, but I think it's one of the most underlooked factors of health. Like we're dialed in on the nutrition, the exercise and all that, but we kind of forget about that our bodies are electrical, and we need that constant electrical stability and balance in order to function optimally. So it's not the key to being healthy, but it's one of the keys, and it's one of the keys that we've just neglected for a really, really long time, and it's starting to gain some headway now. But yeah, I think it's certainly a hidden variable. Insulation, it's certainly a hidden variable contributing to a lot of the common ailments that are plaguing society today. But and I say hidden variable, and this brings up another interesting topic. I don't know if you guys would be interested in this, but I don't think we've been studying like normal organisms. So when we do a lot of our studies on insulated organisms, and an insulated organism operates differently than a grounded organism. Their immune systems function differently. Literally, the whole organism just functions differently. And so, if all of these studies that we've done are based on these insulated organisms, do we really know how the body operates in its most natural, normal state? Like, I think that's really, really important for a lot of these scientists to realize. And hopefully it leads to kind of the implementation of a standardized electrical environment in these studies, because a lot of the studies I'm pretty sure thus far have been on insulated organisms, and that has like some serious implications as far as the results and the replicability of those studies. But yeah, I thought that might have been cool too.
No, me and Tristan actually talk about this quite a lot, about how we get annoyed with people who always comment like, cite the study of blah, like that says this thing. And the problem is like, I mean, I can find so many studies. I mean, this goes into diet too, where you can find one study that says this is bad, and then another study says this is good. There's a lot of factors in these studies that can go back to who funded it, what was the result that they wanted, and then also like the control. And I think the issue with these studies is, like you said, not only are they in sort of like that insulated electrical environment, but they're also, generally speaking, in a lab surrounded by artificial light. I think it was Jack Kruse who says like nature's like the ultimate like study, because that's where everything is like meant to be. So it's like, you got to kind of take all this stuff with a grain of salt. It's the same with blood work. I mean, the blood work is what we've discerned to be like good blood work is based on a national average of your community. But when the community is predominantly metabolically unhealthy, how well, like what is optimal within that range? Not just like, are you in that range? And so that's like all these similar things. So it's like when you look at the data, I think the data could be important, but it's like only one piece of like what I consider optimal. It's like everyone that's ever sick comes to me and they're like, yeah, I've gone to 1,000 doctors and they keep saying I'm normal. All my blood work's normal. Well, yeah, but you still feel like shit. So obviously something's not right. So it only goes so far. That's why I can only take so many things with a grain of salt. You know what I mean?
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, it's wild. And I came across this the other day when I was like debating these Ray Pete clowns on Twitter, because they were like saying how bad fasting is or something like that. And then I go and look at all the research on fasting is done with like fat people, with obese people, to like help them lose weight. And yeah, of course, you know, they're already in this oxidative stress environment, and then you're putting another stressor on them. Like it might not be, you know, a great idea, or there's just going to be an additive effect. Whereas I found the only study I could find that's compared somewhat healthy people to obese people, and then they both fasted, was like out of Lithuania. But I was like, I'll take it. And the healthier group, which was amateur weightlifters, actually had a neutral effect on oxidative stress and a shift to a more parasympathetic state, whereas the obese people had increased effect of like the sympathetic nervous system. So it was just a short-term fast, like 2 days, not like all these studies are like super long-term. So I think how many subjects are being, tested that are, like you're saying, are grounded, are actually healthy. And that's when I hear about, all these, jab injuries, and maybe we could talk about COVID for a second, is, they're perfectly healthy.
Yeah.
LeBron James's son, perfectly healthy. I fucking doubt it. The kid's probably on his phone, disconnected, completely insulated, on his phone 24/7, just like, eating like crap too, but like not getting any natural light. I mean, African Americans like need way more, sunshine than we do. So it's just like, it's very ignorant. But the one thing that I saw on your site that was super cool, I didn't know, is that there are actual studies showing the benefits of grounding or earthing for COVID, which is kind of cool. Maybe you could talk about that for a little bit, or in general, how it could potentially help like against viruses and for the immune system.
Yeah. And before we get to that, you did bring up a really good point. My whole takeaway with everything that we just talked about is that norms are skewed. Norms are based on unhealthy people. And so just because like it's considered the norm, it's considered healthy, that's for an unhealthy person.